G'day, Eric Bakker from New Zealand, the naturopath. How are you all going out there? Thanks for tuning in. It's another hot, sunny day here in Foxboro where I live. Summertime. It's very hot this year. Notice how the temperatures are getting hotter all around the world? Maybe I'm just imagining it. Right, we're going to talk about my top 5 fighting foods for leaky gut, on some of the best foods I consider for really healing leaky gut. Now the crazy thing is when I looked at some websites just before, all these famous doctors and blog sites and stuff, and I looked at what their recommendations are, I thought, man, I've been eating like this for 40 years, and you guys are saying it's all the rage now, like bone broth. And I thought, my grandma used to make bone broth, right back in the 40s and 50s. When I was a kid, we used to have bone broth at home all the time. It was a staple food. We get bones, put them in pots, and cook them with vegetables quite often. They'd be simmered for hours, and then that would be ladled into bowls, And then I can remember back in the 80s, 70s and 80s eating these kind of foods, and people would look at it and sneer and say, looks like stuff you'd eat in a concentration camp, in one of those soup kitchens. And now it's all the rage. I had a relation a long time ago, back in the 1960s, that used to sprout grains. Can you imagine what people thought about, back in 1966? If they saw a jar of sprouts on the windowsill, those people were thought of needing psychiatric help back then, that they were eating lawn clippings or crap like that. One of my teachers in Australia, a long time ago, Dorothy Hall, she opened up a college in 1947 in Sydney for helping women study natural medicine, because back then in the 40s and 50s, guys didn't learn this stuff. It was like for women, Men were doctors. Women weren't doctors back then. Women weren't allowed to be doctors. Women were at home looking after kids. But women were allowed to study natural medicine back then. And Dorothy said to me once that she went to a hotel in Sydney, this was in the late 40s, and ordered some muesli and some yogurt. And this is at a top hotel in Sydney, Australia. And then the lady said, "We don't serve that foreign muck here. That's foreign muck." So back then they didn't know what yogurt was. And again, now everyone has yogurt. So it's interesting how times change, isn't it? So bone broth, simple. But make sure that the bones you're using come from an animal, that's been grass-fed, that's organically sourced, that's not real commercially sourced. So bone broth is particularly good. Now, my favourite bone broth, personally, that I've had all my life, is chicken broth. I love chicken broth. I make a really nice chicken broth the way that my grandma used to make it. So I generally will get a whole chicken and I'll put it in a very large, big cast iron pot. I've got massive big cast iron, Le Creuset, the big French pots. I'll put one in there and I'll put a whole heap of water in it. This is a large pot. I don't know how many gallons it is, but it's a big pot. So I'll put water up till almost touching the top of the chicken. I'll put the lid on that, and I'll have in there before I turn it on, I'll put a few peppercorns in there, some bay leaf, some salt, and often I'll throw in a whole bunch of vegetables. I'll put in there usually organic stuff I grow myself. Will be celery, it'll be carrots, it could be potato, a bit of pumpkin, there'll be broccoli, there'll be a whole lot of vegetables thrown in there as well. Now that will be simmered for about 3 to 4 hours on low. Bring it to the boil, I turn it down, simmer it, and then I let it cool. I take the chicken out carefully, it's falling apart. I let that drain. I take all the vegetables out, let them drip, and I bin all the vegetables, I throw them out. And then I take all the meat off the bird, and I'll often throw half of that meat back, and the other half I'll either refrigerate for sandwich the next day, or I'll freeze that for a fried rice meal or something. And then I put everything back in the pot, that meat, and then I'll put new vegetables in there. And then again, I'll let that simmer for about half an hour, and that's finished. That's my bone broth. That's how I make it. Because it's potassium rich, it's mineral rich, it's protein rich, it's collagen rich. It's got amino acids in it like proline and lysine. It's a very, very healthy food to eat. It's called Jewish penicillin, because it helps the sore throat. And it's very immune boosting as well. Chicken broth has different properties than beef broth. So beef broth, I think, has got more collagen in it, particularly if you're getting the bone ends and you've got the bone marrow. So the collagen and the gelatin and the other different bits and pieces in there are going to help with really healing that leaky gut. They're going to help restore cells and heal it. They also help the lining of the stomach a lot. Bone broth is an excellent food to eat. It's very, very healthy for repairing digestive tract. There's also glutamine in it, which helps to feed the cells of the large intestine in particular. So I like bone broth, and I highly recommend it. I just find it funny that it's all the rage now when people have been eating it all their lives. Steamed vegetables is the second one. Again, something I've eaten since I was my teens. Steamed broccoli is my favourite. When you steam veggies, particularly if you only steam them very mildly, you're going to maintain a lot of the enzymes in these vegetables, which really help to kickstart a lot of digestive processes in your body. You're maintaining also a lot of the minerals. You're not extracting them and boiling them and losing them in the water. Vitamins are easy to lose. Minerals are harder to lose, but minerals are easy to lose if you boil. So if you want to prevent vitamin loss, you've got to cook things very rapidly on very high heat. That's why stir fry is, in my opinion, a better process of cooking to seal vitamins than steaming is. So Tracy and I, every day, I make a stir fry lunch for us with garden vegetables in it. And that can either be a lean protein in there, like a fish, or a lamb, or a chicken, or a tofu will be in there with a whole bunch of vegetables. So steamed vegetables or stir-fried vegetables is another good way to heal a leaky gut. Another way, a tip that I've learned with spinach and green beans is I boil the kettle, and then I'll have a big stainless steel bowl, and I'll put, for example, the spinach or beans in the bowl, and then I'll just pour boiling water on it, leave it for about a minute or two, take it off, and then eat that. So it's got minimal processing and minimal cooking, which means that the folic acid, particularly important for the gut, is not going to be eroded or degraded with the cooking process. Folic acid is one of the most important of all. It's a B-class vitamin that heals the leaky gut. Folate repairs cells lining the mouth right through to the anus. Folate, as you know, prevents spina bifida in unborn children. Folate prevents most forms of cancer. Folate would be globally one of the most important minerals, vitamins that are lacking in people's diets. And of course, spinach is one of the richest sources of folic acid. I encourage everybody to grow spinach out there. It's simple to grow, it's tasty as hell, it's easy to prepare, and it's a great food to have every day. Let's have a look here. So that was 2 steamed veggies. Fermented veggies is number 3, of course. So fermented veggies, my favourite will be sauerkraut. Easy to make. Get yourself one of those crocks, get a green cabbage, and follow the instructions on YouTube or online. So by fermenting a vegetable, we're going to really produce a lot of lactic acid in that mixture, which feeds up lactobacillus and beneficial bacteria. You're also going to create a whole bunch of wild yeasts and beneficial bacteria in there. Note I said yeasts, I didn't say Candida, because there are many beneficial yeasts that will be in that culture there as well. Saccharomyces boulardii, for example, and a whole bunch of good beneficial bacteria in there going into your gut. Remember, when you take beneficial bacteria into your digestive system, they don't colonize, they're transient, they move through, but they create the right environment for what you've got there to really grow. Right? Number 4 is yogurt. Now, many people, like Dr. Axe, for example, endorse yogurt like I do, but many other people say, don't touch it. It's dairy. It's radioactive. It's toxic. What a load of crap. People have had milk for thousands of years. If you eat a good quality yogurt, a very good quality yogurt, which is really well made and it's cultured beautifully, it's very beneficial for the digestive system. Yeah, but I can't touch yogurt because I've got dairy allergies. I bet you can. If you have a very, very small amount of yogurt to start with, remember, it's cultured. All right? There's no sugar left in it. The sugar's been usually broken right down by the bacteria. So sugar won't be a part of the problem. It still has got beta-casein in there, but you'd have to be extremely dairy sensitive to react to very small amounts of good quality yogurt in your diet. So I really like yogurt, and I think a good quality one is exceptional for the leaky gut and for hypochlorhydria and for inflammatory bowel. It's a superb food, but make sure that it's a good, sour, natural Greek yogurt. And the last category, 5th category, fish, especially fatty fish like salmon or mackerel, because it's high in omega-3, which is anti-inflammatory. So fish, in my opinion, is a penultimatum protein. We try and eat fish at least 3 times per week now. We get fresh fish fillets, either salmon or white fish. In New Zealand, we're spoiled for choice. We get beautiful fish down here. We had a lovely fish last night called teraki, which is a big white fish. So beautiful. And I will just cook that up. I'll often steam that or grill that and have that with some steamed vegetables. Last night I made up a big garden fresh salad and had a nice big piece of sweet corn out the yard, and the fish. It was a superb meal. So those are the sort of ways you're going to help heal leaky gut and repair any kind of digestive damage that you've got. So we talked about the broth, chicken and beef broth. We talked about the steamed veggies, the fermented veggies, the yogurt, and we talked about the fish. Those, in my opinion, are the 5 key foods that you need to look at for healing leaky gut. Thanks for tuning in.